Welcome to the King County Video Voters Guide, your chance to hear directly from the candidates in the August primary. This is a vote-by-mail election. Instead of going to a polling place, ballots will be sent to all registered voters. In this edition, we've invited the candidates who will appear on the primary ballot for King County Assessor and King County Council positions 2 and 8. The offices are nonpartisan. Each of the statements is up to 2 minutes long and unedited. The speakers appear on your screen in the same order as they will appear on the ballot. If only 1 or 2 candidates filed for a seat, that position goes straight to the general election and does not appear on this primary ballot. First up, King County Assessor. The King County Assessor oversees the assessment of residential and commercial properties in King County, as well as personal property used by businesses. These values are used to calculate property taxes and to calculate property tax levy rates for King County taxing districts. This is a nonpartisan position. The assessor serves a 4-year term, and all voters within King County are eligible to vote in this race.
Hello, my name is Dominique Scarimbolo, and I am running for King County Assessor. I am not a career politician. I'm a small family business owner, property owner, and somebody who has spent years researching government codes, regulations, and property tax systems firsthand. I've dealt with property tax appeals, done many public records requests, and been involved in many other processes that for sure leave people feeling frustrated, unheard, and confused. The assessor's office should not be complicated. Taxpayers should easily be able to understand how their property value was determined, why it may have changed, and how to effectively challenge it if they don't agree with it. I also believe uniformity matters. Similar properties should be assessed under consistent standards and methodologies throughout King County. Taxpayers should not be left wondering whether one area or property type or group is being treated differently than another. Public confidence depends on a process that is transparent, understandable, and consistently applied. And taxpayers should not need specialized knowledge or expensive help just to understand that process. Government works best when it stays focused on the responsibilities they were created to perform, which is also first and foremost to serve we the people, not figure out ways to generate more tax revenue. The assessor's office should provide fair and accurate assessments, clear information, and a process people can have confidence in. If elected, my goal is simple: open the books, increase transparency, improve accessibility, and put taxpayers first.
Hello, I'm Chris Roberts. As a former Shoreline mayor, longtime council member, enrolled member of the Choctaw Nation, and King County property owner, I know firsthand the stress skyrocketing property taxes place on King County residents. Too many of our neighbors are at risk of being priced out of their homes. I am running for assessor to restore integrity, equity, and transparency to the office. Right now, backlogs and understaffing delay vulnerable seniors, veterans, and neighbors with disabilities from receiving the tax exemptions they qualify for. Meanwhile, our current system uses unsound valuation methods for certain properties, giving them subsidized tax rates while you and I pay more. That is simply not everyone paying their fair share. Fixing these structural issues requires a completely different skill set than valuing a house. Relying purely on appraisal experience to run this department is like hiring an insurance agent to serve as the state insurance commissioner. One handles individual transactions, the other runs a massive public agency. My goal is to focus on the broader challenges facing the office while advocating for sound public policy. To deliver real tax relief, we must first ensure the office supports our county's $400 billion economy efficiently. That means modernizing our processes so housing can be built without costly delays, working with cities to promote efficient government, and proactively expanding targeted outreach so every eligible resident gets the tax exemptions they are entitled to. Over the last 17 years, I've managed complex public budgets, worked with regional leaders, and managed large projects. I would be honored to bring that practical executive experience and collaborative approach to the Department of Assessments. I am proud to be endorsed by officials from all across the county, including Executive Grimai Zahalai, and former Assessor Lloyd Hara. I would appreciate your vote. Yakoki.
Hello, my name is Rob Foxcurran, and I'm running for King County Assessor. I grew up here. I graduated from the Seattle Public Schools before graduating from the UW. Today, my wife and I live on Beacon Hill in Seattle with our soon-to-be 2 daughters, who I'm proud to say are both 6th-generation Seattleites. This is home. Now, whether you rent or own your home, costs keep rising, and property taxes are a part of that story. The assessor doesn't set tax rates, but they do determine the value of every property in the county. Those values shape what you pay. That's why I'm running. This is a technical office that requires real expertise to run well. I may not be an elected politician, but I am an expert and proven leader in my field. I'm the only candidate and progressive in this race that has spent over a decade as a certified general real estate appraiser. I currently serve as the City of Seattle's senior appraiser, where I'm also a shop steward with Protect 17. For the past 3 years, I also served as a hearing examiner on the King County Board of Appeals and Equalization. That's where folks go to appeal their property's assessed value. There, I watched corporate landowners pay teams of consultants to help slash their tax bills. I've seen the system from every seat at the table. I know where it works, and I know where it falls short. King County currently ranks near the bottom nationally in commercial property tax fairness. When the wealthiest corporations don't pay their share, that burden shifts directly onto your shoulders. We need a professional to balance these scales. My plan for real affordability includes 3 core shifts. First, we need modernized payments. I will fight for monthly payment options so families can actually budget. Second, we need to expand the county's efforts in signing seniors, veterans, and neighbors with disabilities up for the exemption programs they are already qualified for. And third, I'm pushing for a universal homestead exemption. What does that mean? It means that a portion of your primary residence, your home, is exempt from property taxes. Why does that matter? Because we're in the middle of a housing crisis and an affordability crisis, and no one should ever be taxed out of their own neighborhood. I'm Rob Foxcurran, candidate for King County Assessor, and I would be honored to earn your support in our effort to prioritize people over property. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Al Dams, and I'm running for King County Assessor. I was born in Seattle and have lived here my whole life. I currently reside in Northeast King County, outside of Duval. I've been married for 32 years, and together we have 5 children. I attended public schools and graduated from the University of Washington. I've served in King County government for 32 years now, and am currently the Chief Deputy Assessor. I know how critical the work of the Assessor's Office is. I lead the efforts to set property values upon which your property taxes are calculated and billed. I also lead the review of funding requests from taxing districts to ensure they're accurate and lawful. Getting it right is technical and demanding, taking years to learn. I've done it for 11 years as Chief Deputy Assessor. My teams of highly trained and educated appraisers, analysts, and technologists value 750,000 residential and commercial properties each year. Because of our office's high standards, professionalism, and quality, we've earned the Certificate of Excellence in Assessment Administration. One of only 65 assessors in North America to achieve this honor, and one of 2 in our state. No candidate in this race has the experience and knowledge I have, nor the track record reforming the property tax system. As Chief Deputy Assessor, I've worked to reform exemption programs so thousands of additional seniors are receiving tax breaks to stay in their homes. I'm committed to expanding tax exemptions so those of all ages are eligible. Voters face a real choice: hand this office to someone who must learn from scratch and risk costly mistakes, or elect me, the person who's been doing this work every day for more than a decade. I'm asking for your vote to keep the office in experienced and proven hands. I'm endorsed by organizations, elected officials, and people of all backgrounds, and I'd be honored with your vote.
Metropolitan King County Council. As the legislative branch of county government, the Metropolitan King County Council sets the policies, enacts the laws, and adopts the budgets that guide the largest jurisdiction in Washington state. Its mission is to protect public health and safety, enhance quality of life, and ensure public trust. This is a nonpartisan position. Members are elected by geographic district to 4-year terms. This year, 4 of the 9 council seats are up for election. Only 2 of those 4 seats will appear on the primary ballot: District 2 and District 8. If you live in one of those 2 districts, you will be able to cast a vote in the primary. The top 2 vote getters in those 2 districts will advance to the general election in November.
People across our district are tired of hearing promises made but not seeing them kept. The cost of living keeps climbing. Housing, childcare, and groceries are too expensive. Our communities pay the price for lack of state support as local governments are left underfunded and overstretched. Our district deserves investments and outcomes. People deserve to live in communities that they love. The moment for courage and change is now. This fight is personal. I'm raising my children on Beacon Hill in the same home my grandparents bought after being released from Japanese American concentration camps. I've watched neighbors have to leave because politicians don't understand the consequences of their votes. We deserve better. Under Governor Jay Inslee, I led a state agency where we fought for economic development, directed vital resources to local small businesses, and delivered aid to communities facing healthcare crises. At King County's Office of Law Enforcement Oversight, I led critical reforms to advance police accountability and establish the grassroots, community-driven solutions needed to prevent gun violence. As Port Commissioner, I'm delivering on affordability by creating a child care center and securing good union jobs with real benefits. As your county council member, I'll build affordable housing, promote safe and reliable public transit, protect renters, and expand childcare access. I'll fully fund mental health systems and invest in community-led strategies that stop gun violence before it tears another family apart. And I'll bring real accountability and oversight to our county and champion progressive funding options so that the ultra-wealthy pay their share. City Attorney Erica Evans, Council Members Alexis Mercedes Rink and Eddie Lynn, former Governor Jay Inslee, legislators, labor unions, Democratic organizations, and over 100 progressive leaders in District 2 endorse me because they've seen me deliver on what I promise. Let's choose a better future.
I'm Rebecca Saldaña, and I'm running for King County Council, District 2, because working people deserve a county we can actually afford to live in. Right now, too many people are struggling with rising rents, childcare costs, healthcare bills, and long commutes, while the wealthiest corporations and the ultra-rich continue to profit. I'm running to build more housing that's affordable at every income level, raise wages, improve transit, expand behavioral health care, and make childcare more accessible for working families. As the daughter of a Mexican immigrant farm worker who later became a machinist, I know what economic insecurity looks like, and I know how transformative good union jobs and vibrant communities can be. That's what has shaped my life and my work. Before elected office, I organized alongside janitors and farm workers fighting for dignity and fair wages. In the state Senate, I've spent the last decade delivering real progressive change, helping pass the capital gains and millionaires tax so the wealthiest pay more towards the services we all rely on, passing one of the strongest paid family medical and leave programs in the country, and sponsoring the Domestic Workers Bill of Rights to protect care workers and immigrant workers too often excluded from labor protections. I've also fought for major investments in affordable housing, transit, climate justice, and safer, healthier communities. Now, I'm ready to bring that proven leadership to the King County Council because meeting this moment will require leaders willing to stand up to powerful interests and fight unapologetically for working people. I'm honored to have the sole endorsement of the King County Democrats as well as the endorsements of King County Council members Teresa Mosqueda, Sarah Perry, Claudia Balducci, and many more progressive labor unions and community leaders. I'd be honored to earn your support.
My name is Mia Jacobson, and I am running for King County Council to wake you up before it's too late. You might think our council has to listen to us, but after the election, we are all participating in a faith-based exercise. Our local legislative process has no place for public opinion. Policy is drafted and voted on by people who are most often not affected by it, while the people who are cannot contribute to the conversation which creates it. We have no measurable impact on the decisions made by our representatives, and if we cannot check our government, we live in a fascist society, whether we vote or not. No one is coming to save us from the cultural and economic crisis we face in this time of radical change. Until we are present in the conversation which creates legislation, we will be unable to prevent any decision made by our government that fails to protect our liberty. While the issues we face may seem impossible, the root cause is simple. There is no common sense in legislation because there is no common voice. And there is no common voice because there is no common mic. If elected, I will promote policy that allows for adequate public partnership. I will introduce an open public forum parallel to every committee to act as a standing check against bad policy and an interactive map the citizens can use to drop pins of interest to guide the legislative conversation. Together, we will find ways to use government to empower those in the community already doing the work. The people have outgrown our need for representation with the advancement of our technology. If we can expect to access social media 24 hours a day, we can expect to engage with the legislative process whenever we want. We have to get organized if we are going to have any control over our own lives. Give me your vote and I'll give you the mic. The time has come to organize or die. Vote Mia Jacobson for King County Council, District 8.
I'm Teresa Mosqueda, and I'm running for re-election to the King County Council to keep fighting for every family in District 8. From Vashon Island to the Chinatown International District, from Burien up to Belltown, I want our district to have the opportunity to be healthy, housed, and to be able to make ends meet. What I've done on King County Council so far is delivered. I chair the Board of Health and the Health, Housing, and Human Services Committee. I've used those roles to make sure that we're investing in caring for all residents. That means making sure our public health clinics remain open and accessible to all residents, including immigrants and refugees. I've secured stable funding for domestic violence and sexual assault survivors. I've championed workforce housing investments, wage parity for human service workers, and helped pass the King County Parks Levy to make sure we're investing in climate resilient strategies. My priorities going forward are very clear. I want to expand access to affordable housing. I want to prevent displacement for working families. I want to improve community safety through behavioral health investments and reduce gun violence. I want to invest in what workers need every day: accessible around-the-clock transit, affordable childcare, and good union wage jobs. I am proud to have been able to represent District 8, and I ask for your additional support going into this election. I'm thankful to have the support of Congresswoman Jayapal, Governor Ferguson, Attorney General Nick Brown, MLK Labor, SEIU, UFCW, the building trades, and every labor union that has endorsed my election. I have support from environmental groups, housing, and health champions. I hope to earn your support for another term on King County Council. I believe King County works best when we lead with compassion, accountability, and a commitment to opportunity for all. I ask for your support going into this election so I can keep serving you on King County Council and building a county where every person can be healthy, housed, and resilient. Thank you.
My name is Nick Duda, and I'm running for King County Council. I'm running because our region needs more accountability from its leaders on how we tax, how we spend, and most importantly, whether our policies are actually producing the outcomes they promised. Right now, families are paying more for everything. Many businesses are struggling, and government at every level is facing budget deficits. That is not something that happened to us, but rather it's the result of policy choices that have gone unchallenged for too long. This lack of accountability shows up most clearly in homelessness and public safety. We have spent enormous sums on housing, but far too little on treatment and recovery. Any honest assessment has to admit that our priorities are out of balance. Simply put, we are losing more lives, degrading more public space, and eroding public trust through fiscal mismanagement, all at the same time. We all want our region to be compassionate and well-governed. In so many ways, we're just not doing either very well. My opponent has been on the other side of many of these issues for years, and it's fair to connect her record to the results people see every day. Attempting to defund the police was a mistake that cost our community in multiple ways. Layering taxes and regulations onto businesses have made it harder to operate and more expensive for their customers and community. Recent surveys show that only 12% of local small businesses are making ends meet, and that only 9% of the businesses in the state are considering expanding here. That's not good for business or workers. And our approach to housing and homelessness, which lacks expectations around treatment and recovery, is not compassionate if the results are continued suffering. These are policy choices, and elected officials have to own the outcomes of the policies they champion. I believe in good governance. I believe in programs that work. I support fair wages and a good quality of life for people who work hard. But when policies falter, we should be honest enough to say so and brave enough to change direction. I'm a West Seattle resident, the father of 2 young kids, the son of a union mailman, and I've spent my career managing budgets and driving growth, all deeply rooted in data. I'm running to bring balance, accountability, and measurable outcomes back to King County. I'm Nick Duda, and I hope to earn your support.
You've just seen all the video statements recorded by candidates for King County Assessor and Metropolitan King County Council. We will produce another video voter's guide for candidates who advance to the November general election. For Seattle candidates and ballot measures, watch the Seattle Video Voter's Guide. This program is a collaboration of the Seattle Ethics and Elections Commission, the Seattle Channel, and King County TV. Ballots will be sent to all registered voters. Look for your ballot in the mail after July 15th and vote and return it by Tuesday, August 4th. No stamp needed to return your ballot. Ballots can be returned via U.S. mail or at one of King County's secured ballot drop boxes. Remember to sign the envelope with your voted ballot. Accessible voting centers, or AVCs, are available to voters who need assistance completing their ballot. You can track the progress of your ballot online and find the location of drop boxes, or AVCs, by visiting King County Elections at kingcounty.gov/elections. Ballots must be postmarked by August 4th. Thank you for joining us. We'd like to hear from you about the Video Voter's Guide. To comment on this guide, please call 206-684-8500 or email ethicsandelections@seattle.